Madeline, good to see you.
Lovely to see you, Sharon. Mel, I see you have a cat behind you. What is your dear cat's name?
Everybody.
Woman, I know it's not a Poe-related name, but my kid named her. She's back.
Oh, hey y'all! How you doing? It's so good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hey, good.
Hey guys, my name is Erin Paula, and I'm the Interim Executive Director at the Poe Museum. We are so excited to offer you a bonus Unhappy Hour this March 2020 in honor of the coronavirus. Normally, these events run on the fourth Thursday of every month, April through October, but this year we've opted to give you a special one. And so what I'd like to do first is tell you everybody who is joining us here on the screen. And hopefully they'll give you a wave. Chris Sempner is the Poe Museum Curator. Museum Dean, oh, that was terrible, but Museum Dean is the Poe Tours and Membership Coordinator. Dean Browell is our Poe Museum Board Director. Brian from Moonday Productions is a Poe Museum volunteer and our tech guru for this event. Sharon is a Poe Museum volunteer, a member, and has been one of our guest speakers. Marilyn is a Poe Museum member and has attended our Unhappy Hours, so welcome back. I'm very excited to introduce you to Mel, who is joining us from Ohio. She is a Poe Museum social media follower. She is also the founder of the Ohio Poe Fans on Facebook. She has never been able to come to one of our actual Unhappy Hours, so we're very excited that she's here with us tonight. And then finally, I'd like to introduce special guest star Sarah White, musician and fellow museum professional. First, I'd like to talk about one of our event sponsors, so I'm going to pass it over to Chris.
Hey, this season's event sponsor is Legend Brewing Company. They are going to be sponsoring the beer for all the Unhappy Hours this season, and they've even come out with a new Poe-themed beer, the Hop Frog Black Ale, so you have to check it out. And I'm going to toss it over to Museum Dean.
All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to read you a couple poems tonight, and I'd like to start with a poem called El Dorado. This was published in The Flag of Our Union, which was a magazine based in Boston. It was published on April 21st, 1849. And I'd like to read you what Poe said about this particular magazine. He said it was not a very respectable journal, perhaps, in a literary point of view, but one that pays as high prices as most of the magazines. So this came out, of course, 1849. This is the last year of Poe's life. And of course, if you know something about American history or California or the NFL, you know what was happening in California in 1849. And although Poe doesn't directly mention anything about that in this poem, I think all of his audience would have known what was going on. El Dorado. Gaily bedight, a gallant knight, in sunshine and in shadow, had journeyed long, singing a song in search of El Dorado. But he grew old, this knight so bold, and o'er his heart a shadow fell, as he found no spot of ground that looked like El Dorado. And as his strength failed him at length, he met a pilgrim shadow. Shadow, said he, where can it be, this land of El Dorado? Over the mountains of the moon, down the valley of the shadow, ride, boldly ride, the shade replied, if you seek for El Dorado. I'd also like to read, thank you, Eulalie, which is a beautiful poem that doesn't get as much attention as it should, and I'll just read it. Eulalie, a song. I dwelt alone in a world of moan, and my soul was a stagnant tide, till the fair and gentle Eulalie became my blushing bride, till the yellow-haired young Eulalie became my smiling bride. Ah, less bright the stars of the night than the eyes of the radiant girl, and never a flake that the vapor can make with the moon tints of purple and pearl can vie with the modest Eulalie's most unregarded curl, can compare with the bright-eyed Eulalie's most humble and careless curl. Now doubt, now pain, come never again, for her soul gives me sigh for sigh, and all day long shines bright and strong, Astarte within the sky, while ever to her dear Eulalie upturns her matron eye, while ever to her young Eulalie upturns her violet eye. All right, thank you very much. I'm passing it off back to APT. Thank you very much.
So, hi again. Hope you guys enjoyed that reading by our own Dean Knight. Next, I would like to introduce Sarah White. Her music is described as homegrown folk music with a dash of country, twang, and just enough rock and roll bite. You can find her at sarahwhitesongs.com. I'm turning it over to Sarah.
Thank you. Here's a song. Welcome to happy hour. 2 drinks for the price of 1. People laughing and having fun. What a great place to be. Welcome to happy hour. They gather here every day. Cheating's one of the games they play. This time it's on me. By the late great Ted Hawkins. Here's another song called I Went to a Museum, which seems appropriate. I went to a museum, reminded me of you. Years ago, when we were young and we went to the Pompidou. Now, we're so far apart and I'm not counting miles. So I've come all this way to see you, and you, and you, and you, and you. And now, I'll pass it to Board Dean.
Thanks so much, Sarah. Great playing as well. And I'm here to give you a message. First off, it's to always think about donating to the Poe Museum. And I always encourage you to donate, especially right now in these difficult times. But actually, we're going to make that even more appropriate and a bit of a bonus for you. Those who donate between now and the end of March will be put into a drawing to win 4 free passes to an unhappy hour in 2020. So please try and donate now. Get yourself in there for this drawing. Donate now before the end of the month, and you too can potentially win 4 free passes. So donate $40. That's like getting 4 free passes free anyway. So go for it. And please always think of the Poe, and please keep supporting. We really appreciate it. Now, Museum Dean.
All right. Hello again. So thank you again, everyone, for joining. I'm going to offer a toast, and we're going to sort of do an Irish theme for a couple reasons. First of all, it's March, and we kind of missed St. Patrick's Day this year because, well, you know why, because, and down here in Shaka Bottom, which is where the Poe Museum is and where I also live, usually in mid-March, we have all sorts of celebrations for St. Patrick's Day. There was a little bit, but that was right when everything was shutting down, so we kind of missed it. Poe is ultimately Irish, or part of his family, part of his father's family is from Ireland, specifically County Cavan. I looked it up. I didn't know that before, which is northeast of Dublin. And I'd like to read you briefly a little thing that Arthur Hobson Quinn, who is probably Poe's best biographer, wrote about this. Whether the Irish strain in Edgar Poe was responsible for any imaginative quality would be difficult to establish. The Celtic flame in literature does, however, kindle into a mysticism which concerns itself with those dim regions in which the relations of man and the supernatural are depicted. Symbolism, too, is the air which the Celt has always breathed, and in symbolism, Poe reveled. So I'd like to end today's Unhappy Hour by telling you a very short story. I lived in England for a little while, and I spent a little time in Ireland. I met this Irish guy, and we had probably had a drink or two, and I said something like, so tell me about sort of like an Irish drinking, some sort of toast or a saying that you might say back home in Ireland. He sort of cocked his head and thought for a moment, and he said, go easy, step lightly, stay free. And I really like that. So I'm going to say to all of you, go easy, step lightly, stay free, and also, of course, sláinte. Sláinte.
Sláinte.
Bye.
This time it's on me.